Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and we've got 2 new units and 1 new vision card coming into War of the Visions this week. We've got a new UR version of FINA who's looking pretty dang good as I've looked through her kit. Ice Veritas honestly looks pretty decent to me. Might have some PvE implications and for chaining teams perhaps. And we got a new vision card rolling in, so let's look at all of those kits and see if maybe one of them is good for you. First, we got White Lotus Mage FINA. Now she's a 100 cost light element unit, as she would have to be. White Lotus Mage, magical striker, red mage, and they really leaned into the sexiness on this one. It kind of just plays itself out through her vision card and her kit a little bit. Her TMR, Pure Heart Gillette. Yeah, okay, it's anyway, I don't know what that is. It's decent on the stats. It gives her 1 range and will give you that reduced damage taken, larger attack size buff. It's okay. I don't think anybody's pulling for this unit and is super excited about this TMR. Her master ability is also just kind of okay. I would say her TMR and master ability might be some of the weaker parts of her kit, but they do give activation time down, which is an often slept on stat for any sort of caster that has an activation time, especially when we see all these super powerful melee bruiser high damage dealers with instant cast, giant AoE beatdown skills. Give our mages some activation time down to keep them in there. She gets a lot of HP, she gets some single target resist, she gets some accuracy and an upgrade to a skill. Where I think she starts shining is her stats and her actual abilities. So she's a 70 agility unit, which makes her very fast. She has a little bit low HP, but 733 base magic is high. So she's bringing a lot of magic to the table, which for a healer is your most important stat. Okay, her support abilities. Long journey experience gives her 2 extra range, 40 spirit penetration, and 25 accuracy. So she's a very high accuracy unit. The trick here may be the thing to worry about, and we'll have to see how this plays out because she is a ranged bow user, but it feels like her main job is a support, so her AI is going to really determine a lot here. The thing with range 2 is it's going to put you in range of the enemy very, very early. So if you're wanting 2 rounds of buffing, this could affect that. We'll have to see how she actually works when she comes out, but in theory this is very nice and is all about the DPS side of her kit, which she does have some decent stuff there. Now she does have a single target resist agility support ability. I love that one a lot. And then her other new one is healing power 20 and de-aggro -3. I think that one has some play as well, especially since we're not in a tank healer DPS meta. It's been a while since we've been there. In that meta, you just let your tank go get aggro. Your healer, you just try to keep them back, and that's fine. Here, if you're running her with 2 higher DPS bruisery units, you want them having aggro. Either one probably doesn't matter. Just having a way of not being targeted first could be nice. It's a nice little thing to mess with her kit. She does have a couple other ones here. The magic activation time one down could be useful. Maybe some people play with spell booster. Now, the first really cool ability that she has is this counter ability, Sexy Pose. It's a 30% chance to proc. It procs after she's hit, which is unfortunate, and it has a 50% chance to inflict charm. Now that 50%, that's high. So you run this chick as a max faith unit. If she's hit and doesn't die, she might just pop a charm on the enemy, and that's pretty powerful. Charm is an ability that can turn a fight on its head, no problem. Now she's got to be within range 4 to pull that off, so that's something to keep in mind as well. When we look at her kit, okay, Prime Heal. So her cheap move is actually a heal, and it's a good one though. It's a 210 modifier. It dispels a whole lot of status effects, right? Poison, Frostbite, Blind, Silence, Paralyze, Confuse, and Berserk. So a nice little, Asuna tied to a heal. We'll take that. Then Saint Protect. This is a self buff for her that nullifies Curse, Charm, and Stop. It also gives her physical and magical base distance resistance. I believe this is 7% resistance. It's a weird way of writing it, and I think it's just she takes 7% less damage, or from 3 to 7%. Overall, I don't know that you run this. I don't know that you actually keep this ability on because she has some better ones coming up later. First one is going to be Shining Resist right here. This is a group buff, and it has the added bonus of being range 1. So I love it when they do this, where your group buff, like she can move to her allies and still get all 3 of them with this buff. I think that's insanely valuable. This gives her a 100% damage reduction shield 2 times. So 2 times she will nullify damage. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. It increases spirit by 25 for the allies. It gives the allies 25 AoE resist. Gosh, dang, that's good. Debuff effect weakening 20 for all allies, and then a 200% chance for re-raise for herself. And when she's re-raised, she will get CT up. You definitely run this one. This is her turn 1 buff. This is the thing you're going to want all of the time. Now, we do have another heal coming in here. This is going to be her main heal. It's a big diamond-shaped AoE with a ton of range on it. 210 modifier heal. It also gives protect and shell for 2 turns to her allies. So you love to see this. This is a really good one. Okay, let's move it on. Menace Shot. Here's her first DPS move that we're seeing. It does have a diamond-shaped AoE. Okay, so that's nice. It's CT down 25 for the targets and seals debuffs for 3 turns for the targets. Interesting. So she will not let the enemies debuff your team if she tags somebody with that. It's the only damaging move in her main job, which is something to consider, but it at least is good. It's not great. It's just good. Then she does have full life that she can cast once, and that's a really wonderful thing to have, especially with range 4 on it. So good main kit for a support. Now, if you want to run her main job sub job, you do have access to a dark magic Dystopia. We've seen this move in the game before. It's a 2-hit dark attack with a 25% chance to inflict stop. Another very powerful status effect tied to this unit, and I could see running this for that. Right? I could see that. Then she has a Revo Force. It's a dispeller and a debuffer for the enemy. I doubt the AI will use that much. If you wanted to run Magical Striker, what do you get from that? Well, you get a self buff that, in my opinion, is better than the self buff that she gets from her main kit. Magic up and Agility up are 2 wonderful stats for her, and she gets that like honeycomb barrier again right there. It'll also give her access to another heal and some more DPS options, including one that knocks a little single target resist off the enemy and casts Drain Decoration for self. This is a nice attack if you could get her to use it. So single target attack with good range, and if she's standing close to somebody, she will follow that up with Drain Decoration, which gives an ally and herself 30% damage absorption, defense pin, spirit pin. A trick to playing this girl really well might be getting her to use Magical Strike as her DPS ability. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Okay, she also has Red Mage if you wanted to run that. The big draw here is Fast Cast because she could give haste to an ally, and that's pretty dang nice. Okay, her Limit Break dispels Curse for all allies, is a 310 modifier heal, so it's her biggest heal, and it reduces physical damage taken by 25% for 3 turns for her allies, once again in that big diamond-shaped AoE. So overall, I think her kit looks really good. She's a new healer that does a lot of fancy things. Is the meta ready for a big light element healer? I don't know. Maybe. We'll find out. I bet you some people pull her and play for her. Her new weapon that she comes with is the Reincarnation Lotus. You want to get the magic version here because her whole kit is just scales so hard off of magic. You get 166. It gives you another magic 30% right there, another 200 activation time down, and healing power 15. So it does everything she wants. And then here's the vision card. Sexy poses in the wilderness with Laswell. What y'all doing back there, huh? A lot, I guess. Anyway, magic, luck, and HP on the card. You're also going to get magic and AoE resist for the unit. For the group buff, you're looking at 18% agility, 20 accuracy, and 25% HP. So very focused on that support. And then on arena, you'll get critical evasion 12. Now, she's not the only unit dropping this week. We are also getting Veritas of Ice. So let's check him out. He is his job, Great Knight and Lancer. Oh boy, Lancer. Oh, Lancer, man. Someday when I grow up, Lancer might be decent in a game. Anyhow, the Ice knee pads are decent. I actually think these are pretty good. So they're in armor, which is a little bit unfortunate. And if we actually look at like who can wear them, only these people. So it's fairly limited in who can actually equip the piece of gear, but the buff is good. 20 defense is whatever, but single target resist 20 for 4 turns and increased chance to apply frostbite 25% for 3 turns. So if you're a unit that can apply frostbite sucks to have it on you. Getting it applied at a 25% better clip is a nice thing. Now, his stats aren't the greatest. He's 67 agility, which is, low end of fast, high end of medium, low on the HP at 4616 and 554 attack, not the highest ever. So he's not a huge stat stick who's going to come out here and like just beat you down with raw numbers, but his kit is actually legit. Like War Demon's martial arts is nuts. Physical damage, 7,500 HP shield, just walking into the fight, 24% attack, defense, and slash attack pin 40. Holy moly, that is a loaded support ability. Then you could get another 40 defense pin and 24 attack from Great Knight's Knowledge, or you could get 12% agility initial AP from allied combat, or you could do one of the Lancer ones and cry about it. Yeah, don't do that. Anyway, his new counter move, not the best. It is a preemptive counter. Yep, right here, you can see that preemptive counter, 30% proc chance, 121%, colorless damage. So nothing too special here. You might even just run patience, honestly, just for that chance of reducing damage. Okay. His actual abilities. He has a cheap 5 cast 15 AP defense debuff, 121% mod. Now, this is not the reason I'm going to say that I think this guy might have some play in like PvE chaining teams, but as we go through his kit, you will see some things that I think might, I don't know. Like, I'm not the big theory crafter on PvE chaining, but I bet you some people in my guild have already looked at this and they'll be able to tell me if good or bad. I'm looking at you, Ashamon. Anyway, his self buff, increase reaction block rate by 100, gain a new counter skill for 4 turns. We'll go look at that here in a second, and dispels re-raise. So it's already pretty good, but let's go look at what this new counter skill that he gains is. It is chance to counter slash and pierce damage by 80%, and does 121% damage back. It's just a slap back. He just gains a nice little slap back to slash and piercing. Overall, really good self buff, especially to dispel re-raise. Okay, our first PvE chaining implication ability here is a 3-hit slash attack chainer that decreases elemental chain resist by 40 and 165 mod. Now, this could potentially be powerful. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how good it was or if it's like worth replacing somebody in your current ice chaining teams, but it's there. It's a 3-hitter that does a nice debuff on it. Okay, now his group buff increases elemental chain resist by 40 for 4 turns for his allies and gives himself ignore fatal damage, aka courage, decrease AP consumption by 30 for his friends, and decrease critical damage resistance for 4 turns on the enemy when you hit them. So a lot of interesting things here. Courage looks like the highlight, but elemental chain resist might be really good depending. I mean, it'll make you tankier for sure, and decreasing the critical damage resistance on the enemies will make them less tanky. Okay, another potential PvE chaining option here, and probably a pretty good PvP move. 2 target selecting attack, nice range right here. My phone is like blowing up. Anyhow, good range. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, that's great. 2 targets, dispels buffs, dispels haste, dispels damage up, knocks single target resist down 60, 200% mod, and can curse them. Good PvP move, good PvE move, we'll see. Then he has a short range small AoE barrier breaker with a 200% mod on it. All right, he's looking solid. His new kit subjob has a decreased healing power, short range slash attack move on it, and then just a big 320% mod move. Like this would, he could walk up to somebody and just beat them for a big amount of damage if they're already like debuffed enough and all of that. Now, if you wanted to run Great Knight, it does give your whole team access to dispelling AP restore. I don't think that's enough of a draw. However, a strike attack move does add a little bit of variety to his kit, and it's a 2-hitter as well. And then if you're just feeling like you want to go Lancer, well, you do get a guaranteed hit move and a attack critical hit rate buff. Yeah, Lancer sucks. And then, of course, there's no limit break on him yet because he is a brand new Veritas unit, and they don't come with those for a while. Okay, that's it. That's the preview for this week, guys. Good luck on your polls if you are polling, and I will catch y'all next time. See you in the next video. Peace.